Gang, we are thrilled to have on the line over in the Bismarck Mandan area the marvelous, the talented, the vivacious Heather Mattson. Good morning, my friend. How do you do?
I am well. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, top of the world. Heather, you and I are doing this challenge right now. It's called 75 Hard. What does that mean for people who have never heard of this? Because it sounds a little weird already.
That means if somebody brings it up to you, you run away. No, no, it's been good. It means accountability. It
Yeah.
means we're working out twice a day for 45 minutes each, one time outside.
Yeah, that
Which
sounds
is
like a good
probably,
idea in September right now, but come the end of November when we're done with this, it's going to be an interesting challenge.
I was thinking about that last night as I was doing yoga on my deck,
Hmm.
thinking, how will this work in a month?
Yeah. We're going to be in for a treat, especially when we're exercising during Halloween, and kids are like, "Why are you doing downward dog when I'm trying to ring the doorbell?"
Right?
Yeah, we're so folks. This 75 hard challenge. Heather, myself, and a few other people from the Hatch Realty family are doing this. It's 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes each. It is clean eating, no alcohol. Read at least 10 pages in a leadership book a day, and drink at least a gallon of water. A gallon of water is okay for me. I'm a big dude, but Heather, you're like you're a tiny little warrior. How's a gallon of water for you?
It's a lot of water.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was most worried about for this challenge, actually.
Yeah, Heather is actually she has to pee right before her radio interview and right after her radio interview. It's a very intense regimen.
I might have to pause us halfway through.
We got real weird real quick. Uh, Heather, you are newer to the real estate industry, right? When did you dip your toes in and become a realtor for reals?
Yeah, it officially started the first week in April.
And might I say, you have been crushing it. Can I say that? I think I'm going to say that. You've been crushing it, Heather.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
You bet. Now, folks, you need to understand this. The average realtor sells 10 houses in a year, and the average price in Fargo is about $230,000. Do you know off the top of your head the average price in Bismarck, Heather?
The average sale price right now is about $238, $240.
238, 240, and you've sold over $1.3 million in real estate in like the last 30 days. Is that right?
Well, we've got some offers in there that are pending. We just gotta get to the finish line.
Well, I got to say, I mean, think about that. In 30 days' time, you've sold like over half a year's worth of what a traditional agent sells in the last 30 days. Like, Heather, you're that talented, that awesome, and you're bringing incredible value to Bismarck. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to go to Bismarck in the first place is we said, we think there's an opportunity there to bring exemplary service. And then we met you and we said, this is the gal that we're going to double down on, and we're going to go as far as we possibly can with. And so what's it been like so far as a realtor? What have been the surprising things you found out about the market and about clients, or maybe what has been reassured as something that's really great about the gig?
Yeah, it's been awesome, honestly. It's been so much fun. I bought a house with my husband 7 years ago, and when we were looking, we looked at 4, 5, 6 houses and made a decision, and that was pretty typical at the time. And now we're seeing people want to look at 20-plus houses.
And that's not just online, that's in person, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Now, when you bought... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was going to say, so that's one thing I think that I was a little surprised at, but there's a lot of houses on the market here in Bismarck. It's definitely a buyer's market, so they want to take a look and really make sure they're making the right selection.
Now, when you and your husband bought 7 or so years ago, the oil boom and the things that were happening out in the western part of the state, it was so much busier, wasn't it? Like deals were flying off the shelves. You'd put a sign in the yard, and by the time the ground had solidified around it, you had 12 offers. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, absolutely.
And now all of a sudden things are back to normal in Bismarck, aren't they? I mean, you still have influence from oil, but wouldn't you say that it's not near as chaotic as people might assume it is out on the eastern side of the state.
That's correct. We're finding that.
Okay.
And people are surprised, I think, by that. I think people think that some of that boom is still happening. Some of our sellers are expecting things to go quite a bit faster in some instances.
Because they have an aunt's cousin who had a neighbor who sold, in one day for, well over asking price. And so that's what I think everybody assumes their house will do, right?
Absolutely.
And that's the same in Bismarck as it is anywhere else. What we find is that people who are selling their house are always wanting that top dollar. And sometimes top dollar happened yesterday and not today. It's difficult. So how long is a house sitting on the market in Bismarck? Because in Fargo, the average days on market, it depends on price range, but it floats between 60 and 80 days. But if you're over $600,000 or $700,000, it's like 18 months it takes to sell. How about in Bismarck?
Yeah, we're seeing anywhere from 60 to 80 as well. August was about 72, but July got down to about 57.
Oh, good old July.
Yeah.
Heather, as I hear all this, it sounds as though the Bismarck market mirrors a lot of things that are happening in Fargo. So what do you expect coming up now as all of a sudden we are at the cusp of late fall and early winter? Do you expect the market to heat up or to slow down?
I'm anticipating that we're going to have a lot of houses come off the market here right before the snow comes. I think people have been looking at a lot of houses all spring and summer, and now they're starting to get serious about needing to put in an offer. And a lot of that pressure is coming from seeing houses come off the market. And so I think it's going to get hot for a little bit and then slow down once the snow really comes.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that philosophy at all. In fact, Heather, I think that we are sitting on like this cusp right now of affordability because, as you had said, there's a lot of houses on the market more than traditionally. And as there's a lot of houses on the market for a buyer, and then we have extremely low interest rates, affordability is like top notch right now. And if all of a sudden you only have a couple houses to choose from, now the seller is more in control than the buyer. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. So what advice would you give to a seller right now, Heather, if they're thinking, I really need to sell my house, but I'm listening to this segment and I'm hearing that the advantage is in the buyer's hands. What advice would you give to a seller? Should they list their house right now or should they simply wait?
I think sellers should get their house on the market. We've got buyers that have been looking, and they've been holding off thinking something else might come or not quite ready to pull the trigger. I say put your house in the hat of other houses and give it a shot. It's a great time. Buyers know that the interest rates are good. Odds are in their favor.
I think this, Heather, is the best time to list a house is yesterday because you know what happened yesterday. And we can't list a house yesterday, and so that means that today we know what's going on. Tomorrow I can't predict the future, whether it's Bismarck or Fargo or Grand Forks or Detroit Lakes. I can't tell you what's going to happen, but I can tell you what's happened. And that gives us a pretty good inkling as to what's to come. Here's what I know about Bismarck, and I know that you and I have had some good conversations about this, is that Bismarck is a market that is stable, it's solid, there's a lot of great jobs that are happening, and the best time to list your house was yesterday. And since yesterday's not here, today is still a really solid time. I think if what you said is right, if the average house is sitting on the market 60 to 80 days, if somebody is going to sell their house, I think that if they put it on the market here, the end of September, give it a run until the holidays, right? See if it's going to sell. See if it's actually going to be on the positive side of that average instead of the negative side of that average, and then they can have everything they want in a setup for a good 2020. Would you agree with that, or would you push back?
No, I think that's spot on.
Perfect. So, Heather, we love having you in the Hatch Realty world. You're obscenely talented. You also are this wonderful woman who serves our country in the Guard. So, thank you for that as well. Just another way to boost your resume. But I'm so proud of you. I think you're doing a tremendous job. And if people want to connect with you, what's the website there out in Bismarck so they can track you down? It's just as easy as hatchrealty.com, isn't it? I think we share the same website. I'm pretty sure we do.
Absolutely. That's the website.
I got you stumped there for a second because I stumped myself. I've had a lot of cough medicine today. Everything is just blurry. Heather, we love you. We appreciate you. And thanks for being on the line with us.
Hey, thanks, Eric.
All right, folks, we're going to go to break. Again, go to hatchrealty.com. Take a look at what Heather's doing out there in Bismarck or see any of our other areas of opportunity. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.